Let me know once you're able to transform.
Yeah, I am able to see.
Okay. So, let's go. Okay. So, and one more thing, guys, I'm sharing one more information. So, one of our team member who was part of our SQL sessions and even part of our Power BI sessions that get placed in KL University as a faculty. KL University, Vijayawada.
Yeah, my native place also Vijayawada.
Okay. So, I hope like you are aware of KL University. He got placed as a faculty in the KL University.
Okay.
Yeah. So, good. So, what things that we have here is we are having source data. We are having Power BI desktop. Font size is okay, guys, for you people, or do I need to increase? We are having Power BI service.
Yeah, it's good. So you are aware about other people? Only me and Tirupati were not known to you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now who are there on the meeting, I'm aware of them. Everyone.
Oh, okay, fine. That's fine.
So Power BI desktop, Power BI source. Okay. So far we have imported data using different sources like Excel and CSV file and Google Sheet, which is a cloud one. I remember everyone is aware of Google Sheet importing Google Sheet data. Right, guys? These things we have seen so far. And within Power BI desktop, I keep telling we are having different components. What are those, guys? What are those? First one is
Power Query.
Power Query. Yeah, Power Query. Perfect. Power Query. What is next thing?
Power View.
Power Pivot.
Power Pivot is the next one. And next thing is Power View.
Power View.
Power View. Okay. So we are getting data from these sources, and this data we are loading into Power Query to transform, to clean every time, to clean our data, to transform our data, to add additional column, or to formulate, all merge up and everything. So what we do, we'll clean our data, transform our data, we'll do merge. I'm just giving few options here, guys. So these are the options we have. These are the activities that we are going to carry out with the Power Query. After performing all these steps, what is the next step? Load your data into
Power Pivot.
Power Pivot. This is for modeling purpose. This is called load. Okay, loading your data into Power Pivot. So Power Query will do what capabilities it has? It has ETL capabilities: extract, transform, load. Okay. So we are loading our data into Power Pivot. In Power Pivot, we are having two important things. One is data view and model view. So I'll not take details. I'll just what we do. We'll model our data. Power Pivot. We'll model our data. After that, we create modeling our data. Nothing but creating relationships with our data, between our data. Creating relationships. Compressing data. All these things we perform here. Compressing. What is general meaning of compressing, guys? What is general meaning of compressing? Compression.
Reducing size.
Reducing size from existing to somewhat like smaller size than existing one. Okay. So these things will carry out with Power Pivot. And when it comes to Power Query, what we'll do, using data whichever available with Power Pivot, whatever data available with Power Pivot, using Power View, we will create reports. Nothing but first create visuals, create reports. All these things will perform with Power BI. Once we are done with our Power View part, what option? The next thing we have to make all our Power reports are available on the cloud, which is called Power BI service. Power BI service. We will publish all our reports to Power BI service, which is available on the cloud. This way. What we'll do is we'll publish our reports to Power BI service. This place to the cloud. Publishing. So the people, business analysts, business people, everyone connect to this Power BI service and they'll get insights of their business through Power BI service reports. This cloud, guys, it is available on cloud. So with a simple browser, you can access Power BI service. So who the people like business teams, business analysts will be connected to your Power BI service and they will be consuming all your reports available on the Power BI service. So right now, what we have completed is this piece we have completed, guys. So far, this Power Query part, this part we have completed with all the options. Now, from today, we are going to discuss about Power Pivot. After that, we'll discuss about Power View. After that, we'll go with Power BI service. Okay. So right now, step 1 is completed. Step 1 of our learning is completed. Remember this, guys. Power Query part we have completed. Is clear with this architecture part? I'm just trying to tell you people where are we in Power BI learning path. We have started our learning with Power BI desktop and inside that we are having 3 components and we are done with learning the first component. Okay, guys? Is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is our architecture. I'll share this architecture with you people after our class. Okay. Now, I'm opening one more slide here. Now, we'll discuss about Power Pivot. What is Power Pivot? Guys, Power Pivot is used to model our data. Once data which is loaded from input file, see, when Power Pivot receives data, Power Pivot receives data initially from source to Power Query. From source to what we'll do, we import our data. We'll import our data from source. After that, in Power Query, what we'll do, guys, we will perform transformation or transform. We'll transform our data. This is next step which are going to perform on our data. Okay. After that, load operation will be performed. And that load operation will load our data to Power Pivot component. So hierarchy will be like this, from source to import this way. After that, the next step is Power Pivot, which is nothing but your actual storage for your data. This is actual storage, we can say, in memory storage. Okay. Transform data will be getting saved with Power Pivot. Remember this, guys. And Power Pivot is having 2 important components. One is data view. Second one is model view. Data view and model view. So, guys, what are the three important sections that I used to explain to you every day? Whenever you open Power BI desktop, at the left side, how many sections that you see?
3. Data view, model view, and report
Perfect. Report view. Correct.
view.
You're right.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So 3 things that we get when we open our Power BI desktop. So here, data view allow you create relationships. And even from the modeling view, here, see here, it allows you create relationships. Data view, model view, and view existing relations. Remember guys, when I load my data, immediately Power BI suggests or auto detects relation between my two sources. Let me demonstrate the same. It takes existing relations, create relationships manually. Demonstrate the way. Okay, so I'll explain. Let me choose same transpose one. Yeah, no, this thing won't work for us. We'll do one thing, guys. We can prepare our own data, right? Instead of loading them from a file. What is the way, guys? I am opening transform data, Power Query data, and here, what is the option, guys? To create your own data source instead of any file.
Enter data.
Perfect. What is your name?
Kavish.
What's your name?
Kavish.
Kavish. Thanks. Okay. So here I'm entering employee data. So I'll say EMP ID. Sorry, this column name I'll give as EMP ID, EMP name, department. We'll give department ID. So here I'll say ABC. Employee ID is ABC. Employee name is employee ID 1, employee name ABC, and department ID. So for now, I'll not enter any department. Enter it. 2 BCD, 3 CDE, 4 DE. Yeah. 4 employees information I have added. I'm giving name as employee. Let's see. In the query section, we'll be able to see our data added. Okay. Now, I'll create one more table as department 1. What I'll say, department ID and the column name, department name. Because for you people, you may feel like, okay, we have already visited through this concept, but it is good to have this concept discussed one more time in the current context, because right now we are discussing about Power Pivot, right? And how things works with Power Pivot. What is the role of Power Pivot? Those things that we understand here. Okay. What I'll say, I'll give department IDs like D1 as sales, D2 as production, D3 as admin department, P4 as purchase department. Now I have created department table as well. Okay. So I'm double clicking and calling this one as department table. Now we have, how many columns we have in the employee table, guys?
4.
How many columns? 2.
2 columns.
And
4 rows.
2 columns. And with department?
Also in 2 columns.
2 columns. 2 columns and 4 rows. Do you see any relation between right now with any of the column data? Do you see any common column data available between these 2 tables?
No.
This is just department ID, department name. This is just employee ID, employee name. There is no relation. Okay. What I'll do, I'll go to add column. I'll try to add a custom column, and instead of getting this, do we have any option to so I'll go to source, I'll edit this, I'll add column. See, on this table is originated through this source by entering data manually. So I'm going to this source, and in the source I'm adding one more column. To that column I'm saying department, I'm naming this ID, and to this department ID I'll add values like this. So this guy belongs to sales. So what reference I can give if this guy belongs to sales? Okay, sorry guys, if I have opened the department view, then that will be easy for you people. Okay, this is your department view. Pasting here, I'm going here, I'm choosing employee, I'm going to source, modifying, adding column, I'm naming column as department ID, and here if I want to assign this guy to sales department, what is the ID, department ID that I have to choose? Okay, first guy
D1.
D1, perfect, D1. And second one, for BCD I want to choose purchase, then D4 I have to map D4, I can say D4, and CDE from D2, I'll say production, I'll say two guys are there in production, D2, D2. Okay, I'm clicking on OK. Now we are having 3 columns in employee table, we are having 2 columns in department table, and these 2 tables are having common column with the name department ID. Though name doesn't match, we are relating department information. We are relating department information with the employee using department ID. Now understood, you people clear guys? We have related employee with the department using department ID. Clear so far? Now I'm closing and apply so that my data will be loaded to Power Pivot. What I told you, whenever we call Power Pivot, it is combination of data view and model view. Power Pivot is combination of data view and model view. And see, your data is loaded. Here it is model view, it is data view. Data view will contain tables information which are loaded, and for each table it shows whatever columns are available and what is the data inside that. Same way with the employee. Okay, employee having 3 columns, department having 2 columns, and I'm going to model view. In the model view, I'm able to see 2 table related models, which is metadata kind of thing, table name, table columns. But there is an additional line drawn between these 2 models, tables. Why? Why guys? I've told you already. Somewhere like in the options, we'll be seeing auto detection settings, current file, somewhere auto detect new relation, import relations from the data sources and first flow, auto detection. This check is enabled with the current file data load. While loading your data, auto detect the relations. So what happened? While loading our data, Power BI, Power Pivot scanned through our all data sources which we have loaded, and it identified, okay, this column data from employee is having some similar values from this column of department. Then I can suggest developer, whenever, as soon as they load our data, I can suggest developer, there is a relation between 2 models on the department ID. This way I can suggest. So when I focus my mouse on the relation line, see what are the columns that are getting highlighted in the 2 models. As soon as I focus on my mouse.
Department ID.
Perfect. So this way, what the model view allowing us, it is detecting existing relations. Though there is no relation at all, we haven't created any relation, but it is auto detecting and helping us. Okay, there is a possibility for the relation on the department ID from between these 2 sources. This way it is suggesting auto detecting. So what is the role of model view? It detects existing relations, and if you don't like whatever relation it has suggested, or if you feel this relation is not correct, you can simply right click on the relation and delete. And it allows you to create a new. How to create new relation, guys? Simply go to manage relationship option. Here you are allowed to choose. I'm choosing new. You are allowed to choose table. I'm saying department. As soon as I select department, the below, as we have only two models, then as soon as I select department, employee model is loaded by default below. And it has automatically highlighted both the columns in the two tables, which are department ID ones. It means it is saying department ID in this table, department ID in this table are the ones which you can correlate or relate. And now see here, from department to employee, what kind of relation it is sizing? Cardinality?
One to many.
1 to star. That is 1 to many. What does it mean? The department ID, one department ID from the department will have multiple occurrences in employee table. Department will be only one single thing in the department table. It will have only one code. Sales will have only one code. But whereas if your company having 100 employees, out of 100 employees, 10 employees can come under sales department. So 10 employees can have their department ID as D1 in the employee table. So that's why it is suggesting department data existence will have only a single one in the department table, and the same department value can have multi-existence in employee table. That's why it is sizing 1 to star. Now, what if I choose employee to department, guys? Now see here, what is the cardinality that Power BI sizing? Many to 1, star to 1. That is many to 1. What does it mean? So common column is department. So that values from department column will be multiple in employee side, and those multiple values will be having only single occurrence in department table. Clear, guys? Let's suppose D1. We can have multiple D1s here. Again, let's suppose D1 is sales. We can have 10 sales employees in this table. All those sales employees will have department ID as D1. So those 10 occurrences of D1 will have only single occurrence in the department table, which is called star to many, star to 1. What does it mean? Many to 1. Clear with this? Guys, clear with this? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just cancelling. Okay. What I'll do, I have whatever auto detector relation is there, that also I have deleted. Now I'm going back to my transform data option. And in the transform data option, what I'll do, so I'm having 4 records. What I'll do, I'll go to this view, source view, because I have entered data manually here. Right? I'll select this record. Let's see, it allows me to delete. I have deleted. Earlier, because I'm having D2 occurrence multiple times here. Sorry, guys. I'm having value D2 department to occurrence multiple times in the employee table. What if I delete that multi occurrence of department? I'll have employees like ABC, BCD, CDE, and 3 unique department IDs instead of repeated one. And let's try to provide employee data with unique department IDs without repetition. So I can delete either CDE or DEF, which are having D2 department. I'll choose last record to be deleted, 4th record. I'm deleting. Sorry. I'm deleting. I'm clicking on OK. Done. I'm having 3 employee records with 3 individual department names. No department ID is getting repeated in employee data. Same is the case with department. Now I'm loading this data. So once data got loaded, see here, employee table containing how many records? Only 3 records with the different department IDs. And go to department table, it is having 4 records with all 4 different departments. Now, if I go to my model and I'll try to create a relation between department ID, I can see I have shown you how to create relation using manage relationship option. Now I'll show you another way. So whichever columns that you want to relate in 2 different models, you can select one related column from one model, select, hold, drag, and drop on the other column which you want to relate with in another model. What I'm saying, select column, department ID, drag, select and hold your mouse, drag and drop on the model, on the column in another model. So I am choosing department ID from employee as a related column for department ID of department. So I'm selecting, holding, dragging and dropping here. See guys, now what is the kind of relationship it is sizing? Left side 1, right side
1-to-1.
1-to-1. What is the reason? What is the reason? 1-to-1. Because I have shown you the option, right? Auto detection. Auto detection will simply go through your data. Whatever data is available with these tables, it is going through that data and it's seeing how many, for each department ID, how many occurrences are there in the entire data of employee.
Single occurrence.
Perfect. Single occurrence, right? Single occurrence. D1 having only single occurrence in the entire data. You do not have another employee. We are not having any another employee with the same department ID. So every individual department having single occurrence in the employee table. There is no other employee with a repeated department ID. This is my data. That's all. And I'm going to department table. In the department table, your department IDs are repeated, single occurred one or some multi occurred ones. Single time. So that's why your model, your Power Pivot automatically sizing model view, we are having 1-to-1 relation. One department ID from department will have one department for each employee. And this department ID will not repeat. This is as per data which is available with Power Pivot as of now. Okay. Let it be like 1-to-1. I'll go to transform data one more time. I'll simply modify my source employee data. I'll add few other employees with repeated department IDs. I'll add an employee EF with department ID 1, not D2, okay? And fifth employee FG with department ID 1. And one more employee with the department 3. Now, I'm closing and apply, which loads my data from Power Query to Power Pivot. What's saying? Column department ID in the employee contain a duplicate value D2, and it is not allowed for the columns on the side, one side of many to one relationship for columns. Okay, what is saying? It is saying I'm unable to load this data because you are repeating your department ID, whereas my existing model having 1-to-1 relation. Ideally, it should be 1-to-many. Then only I'll be allowing your data. Getting my point, guys? It is throwing me this error. What I have to do? I have to simply select this. I have to delete this relation. And I have to go for applying the changes. Now my data got uploaded. See, I'm having 6 records of data with repeated department IDs. Now I'll go to model view. I'll try to drag and drop department IDs here. I'll try to create relation on department IDs. Now tell me guys, what's the relation? Earlier it was 1-to-many, 1-to-1. Now 1-to star.
Many.
This is all like depending on the kind of data that we have with data view. What does it mean? Both model view and data view are working collectively. They are working together and suggesting these models, allowing developers us to model our data. This I wanted to tell you people. Clear guys? Both data view and model view helping us in modeling our data. Clear guys? So this is what I wanted to explain here. Model view, this detects the existing relations and we can create relationships manually. We can model our data using model view. Clear guys? Clear with model view? Power Pivot contains 2 main components, data view and model view. And now we'll come to data view part. So in the data view, see guys, as soon as you select relation, it is showing you like between which employees, which tables you are having this relation. Employee table department ID, department table department ID, many to one cardinality from employee to department. But if you choose But if you choose the relation from this reverse way, department to employee, what kind of cardinality? That will be one to many. From employee side to department, it will be multiple department IDs. Like D1 will be multiple times occurring in employee data, and that will have only single occurrence in department table. Employee to department is many to one. The reverse way from department to employee, it will be one department ID D1 can be repeated multiple times for different employees in employee data. That is, one occurrence of department ID in department table can have multiple occurrences in employee table. That's the meaning. Clear, guys? Now let's go to data view part. Data view allow you to format your data, guys. So like if you go here, table options, you'll be able to see you can add a new measure, you can add measures, you can add new columns. So whatever transformation column additions, adding new columns in the Power Query editor that we have seen, that is of cleaning and transforming your data, making your data ready for data view and model view for report creation. Here we actually perform business related calculations, whereas in the Power Query editor, we perform activities like to clean our data, to format our data. Okay, that is limited to only to that particular context. Here we will be having enhanced data modeling concepts. Enhanced data modeling. So model view allows us modeling data. Whereas when it comes to Power Data View, it will be like enhanced data modeling. Enhanced data modeling, nothing but
Relationship.
beyond relationships. Beyond relationships, we can use what happened? Yeah. By using DAX functions. DAX, data analysis expressions, yes, remember this. Allows us enhanced data modeling using DAX functions. Whereas DAX meant for data analysis expression. Remember this, guys. We'll be discussing about these things. Model view and Power Pivot as part of our Power Pivot discussions. And inside Power Pivot, we'll be discussing about model view, data view. And when we discuss about data view, we'll discuss about DAX. And when we discuss about model view, we'll discuss about relationships. Remember this point. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Everyone clear? So this way, we'll start our discussions on Power Pivot, guys. Okay, from next class onwards, we'll start discussing relations, like what are the possible relations here, guys? One-to-one,
One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-one.
many-to-many. Like this. We'll learn everything in detail, guys, in Power Pivot. So it won't take much time for us. So the way we learned all the things in Power Query, the same way we learn everything in Power Pivot. And remember, two important components of Power Pivot are data view and model view. Okay. And one more important thing here with Power Pivot is like it will compress our data, compress loaded data, because it is having space limit, guys. Like it allows to store only 10 GB of data, 10 GB of 10 GB size data. Power Pivot is allowed to store only 10 GB of data, and it is in-memory database, you can say. We can call Power Pivot as an in-memory database. An in-memory database. In-memory, nothing but your data will be loaded into RAM, guys. Okay. Actually, our data in database will be available on the hard disk. Whenever I say in-memory, data will be loaded on the RAM. So it will be available on the RAM, and the performance will be very quick. retrieving, everything. And I'll tell you like what is the compression mechanism and which way our loaded data will be compressed and the size can be reduced, and how data fetching can be quick with the in-memory model, with this compression model. Okay. Clear, guys? These things we are going to learn with Power Pivot. Power Pivot data view model. Later, one more component will get added, Power View. After that, Power BI service. This way, we'll keep our learning progressed. Clear, guys?
Yeah, one question here related to the data model. Anyway, without data view, the model view will not be established, right? Then whatever the data we are loading from external source or internal source, that will automatically get changed initially by us only, right, based on our requirement. So again, why we are seeing by using DAX functions, we will enhance the data modeling.
See, enhanced data modeling, DAX functions will be introduced to add additional measures to your data, which is not available in your external source. Let's suppose in the external source you're having 10 columns of data, but your actual report creation is meant for a different purpose on the 11th measure. Let's suppose by drawing some measures from the existing 10 columns data. The external source containing 10 columns data. Okay. So if you're planning to create one more measure, which is a business measure, using the data available from these 10 columns of external source, then we'll go for using DAX functions. It is not necessary every time to use DAX functions. It all depends on the requirement.
So whatever the loaded data can be directly used for model view if there is no changes required. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
There are different kinds of connectivity modes that we use, like import and direct query. So in the case of direct query, we'll not be having access to data directly. We'll be getting only schema part, like structure of the data. So how many columns will be there? Only such information. Okay. So even in such cases also, we have to simulate and see, okay, what kind of data that we can get from external source, which cannot be imported, which can be directly queried every time my report executed. Even such data also, you have to first get understanding on the queried data, direct queried data, on the external source side. Then only you can model your data here in the Power Pivot as per your requirement. It is not like we'll be not having any visibility on the external source that we are importing. First, we have to get clear understanding and clear picture on the source that we are importing here. It can be either external source or Excel file or some other internal source. Okay. First, you have to visit and cleanse that particular source data. Then only you have to load that one to Power Pivot for rest of the modeling. Okay. Which is a regular practice. It doesn't mean like a Power BI developer will not have any visibility to the external source which you are going to load here. You got my point,
okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
the interview panel, which mode are you using in your previous projects? They are asking that question. They was asking.
Which mode? You
Yeah,
can simply
why
say
should
import
should
mode.
I tell?
Import mode. Yeah, import mode.
Yeah,
See,
thank you.
as we do not have any real-time experience, for now you try to answer that query like import mode. When they ask like why you used import mode, you can say we are not having any direct connectivity to the data sources like databases or other systems. We're simply having a location where all other external system services will be generating business data in the form of Excel or CSV file, and they're placing in that location. And we will be connecting to that location and loading that data. We are not having that visibility of how which system getting data from which database and creating this file. Only our context is like from which source I can query my data. Okay, this is Excel location where your business data is keep getting added on daily or some frequency basis. This way you can answer for now. But as we proceed with our
They
discussions,
are
you can
asking
answer.
how many. Yeah.
Tell me.
How much data you are facing? How much data did you transformation? So 1 lakh rows or which data?
Don't go for
how many
telling
rows?
1 lakh. Don't go for telling 1 lakh rows like that. You can say something like some 15 to 20,000 data. That's all. In Delta business,
I
we will
am
not get
telling
like
1 GB.
1 lakh rows every time. 1 GB. Okay. Fine. That
Yeah.
also. Yeah. Basically, some 10 MB file can contain almost like 70 to 80,000 data. 10 MB size file. You always remember that. 10 MB of Excel file can hold almost 70,000 records data with almost like 25 to 30 columns.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever you say 1 lakh, then try to calculate on this basis. 10 MB file with 25 columns and 70,000 rows. Then what is the row size as a row count for 1 GB? So it will be like 100 times. 100 into 70,000, almost like 70 lakh records. 7 million
Yes.
records. Okay. Don't give direct answers like 1 GB of data because you cannot evaluate size of the data. Being a Power BI developer, you're not looking at size of the data in terms of memory size. You'll be looking at that volume. You'll be looking at the volume in terms of row count, right? So row count.
If I told that I don't know how much data. That's the reason I'm telling 1 GB. I don't know actually.
Don't tell like 1 GB. You tell in the terms of row count. So it will be around like 15 to 20,000 rows like that.
Only 15.
So once you get one use case, then you will be able to answer it perfectly. Once you get one use case.